Hey, don't sound so excited, you know. We walked State Street one day. Ours are 150 to 200.
150 to 200?
Uh-huh.
Well, you see, okay, then take 15% of that, okay, and that gives you on your total, and then you can do the table, expand the table out, and that's what I'm really putting this up for. You know, if that's what's in your area, then. But the key thing I want to put on the table is be concerned about the affordability of the rents. And I've had this 15% ratio. I found this in a number of parts of the country. So I'm throwing it out there as something to you to look at.
Question from Green Lake, Wisconsin. The 15% rule for rent.
Yeah.
Often we have small businesses with heating bills that are $2,000 a month. Should that be under part of the 15%?
Wow.
Bills.
Gee, okay, this is, I'm learning something right here and now. $2,000 a month for heating?
Here, just at $3,000 for hers.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, this is a concern. You know, we have some beautiful old buildings in our downtowns, and maybe the rents don't sound that expensive. So you move in, and you have your first winter. You have $15,000 to $20,000 of heat bills over a 6 or 7 month heating period.
Well, you know, maybe my point has to be redefined within your situation, and what we ought to think about is what the cost of space is, and the cost of space would include what the heating would be. And then you figure that out, and then I think you have to figure out with the merchants, you know, what is the break, you know, the point where they feel under economic stress, you know, that they're pushing the edge.
Right. So would you say the heat bill and the rent should max out at 15% of gross sales?
Well, I'm saying here that you've got to come up with, what I'm hearing is you're going to have to come up with your own formula, okay? You know, what's the affordable cost of space in Wisconsin? I'm trying to restate it based on what you folks are telling me, okay? And in New York, etc., the heating is included in the rent usually, all right? And that would, you know, because I don't think anybody's paying $2,000 a month for a small store for heating. But I'm saying that. Find out what your cost structure is for your retail space, and then find out from talking to merchants. I think in a number of communities, what would be the threshold where they then feel that they are being pushed into dangerous territory, financially, and that would become your formula. But I have to say this about it. I'm throwing out a lot of ideas here, and they work in my part of the world, and I'm certainly willing to say that they may not work in other parts of the country, but I think that the basic thought and the idea about the need to be aware of and concerned about affordable rents, I think it holds pretty valid wherever we are.
Well, David, I apologize to you and to others who are listening. According to my computer display, we've moved beyond the 1 o'clock hour, so I am going to have to begin to bring this program to a close. There's obviously never enough time for questions and answers, and that's certainly why we encourage you to continue this dialogue at your local sites. I know the facilitators have a set of questions that they're willing to pose, which will hopefully generate some more ideas, some more thoughts, some more strategy development. And again, as you recognize, David is certainly a friend of the program. And if you do have specific follow-up questions for him, certainly direct those either to Bill or to myself. We'll be sure that David gets those questions, responds to you, and we'll get that information back out. David, thank you so much again for taking time out of your busy schedule to kick off the 2010 series. And I'll have you know that that's not a pre-prepared applause. That's realistic applause.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, David.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Please join us on May 13th again at noon for the second of our four-part webinar series. This session is going to be focused on living downtown. We'll have an opportunity to examine some of the demographic as well as changes in the rental and condominium department that is obviously affecting our downtown residential market. At this point, I'm going to remind everyone to close their browser on their computer, disconnect